Hello, everyone. I'm Molly Porter, and I'm here with my colleague Nicole Duran, and we're excited to spend the next few minutes sharing our process in developing parent and caregiver wellness workshops at the Natural History Museum for Los Angeles County school communities. We'll be exploring the motivation behind the creation of the program, establishing trust between the institution and the participants, and inspiring trust within individual participants themselves. We'll start by introducing the Natural History Museum of LA County's vision and values. The vision of the museum is to inspire wonder, discovery, and responsibility for our natural and cultural worlds. We use this vision to be a true guidepost for our program development process. Similarly, our institutional values drive our work. We strive to be adventurous, inclusive, authentic, and intentional with all that we do. We even go so far to use these values in our programmatic rubrics, holding ourselves accountable to enacting these values with direct visitor engagement as metrics of a successful program. For our departmental vision, we want our participants to build critical thinking skills and visual literacy through scientific literacy and culturally responsive practices. We want them to forge connections with each other and our collections and research, and find value and relevance in our natural and cultural worlds.
So we'll now transition into sharing more about the Parent and Caregiver Wellness Workshop Series, a project that we launched a few years ago. So our intention was to welcome parents and caregivers of the kindergarten through 12th grade students we've worked with for many, many, many decades. These are adults who are often at the heart of our community, but rarely centered in our museum programming. This idea also emerged in response to the COVID-19 pandemic's mental health impact, as well as the growing demands placed on caregivers. We're juggling work, children's busy schedules, and regular daily life. We saw an opportunity to support them with intention. So we created this wellness workshop series specifically for parents and caregivers in our partner school communities, with the goal of cultivating trust and strengthening the connections to create affirming and transformative mental health spaces for adults, people like us within our own communities. We focused on these three key goals. This is how we built the program. We wanted to build institutional trust between the museum and family. So that's the create institutional trust. Second, we wanted to share practices that support intergenerational trust, helping parents build open, reflective relationships with their children. And third and finally, to support and inspire self-trust, helping adults reconnect with themselves and their own well-being. These three goals form a program progression, each one setting the stage for the next. So the first pillar of this program was to create institutional trust. We asked ourselves, how can we as a museum build trust with parents and caregivers in a meaningful way? And we knew the answer began with showing up consistently, showing up with our institutional values that Molly mentioned of inclusion and intention, and to show up in spaces that felt familiar and safe to them. So we set off by building connections with us, the museum staff. That's who you see here. We are educators, parents, and community members. This is the work led by a core team of 3 museum educators. You see here Molly Porter, Associate Vice President of Education, myself, Nicole Duran, Director of Education, and our colleague and peer, Amanda Fawcett. She's Program Manager on the Education Outreach team. Together, we bring decades of experience in education and program design as museum educators, and 2 of us are also working mothers, Molly and myself. So we deeply understand the daily pressures of caregivers that caregivers face, how hard it can be to focus on our relationships with our children, let alone ourselves. So we wanted to meet parents and caregivers where they are and think of the museum as a community resource. The first workshop was held in the parents' own school communities. We traveled and we started at the school site. We knew that meeting them where they are, both physically and emotionally, was critical. We partnered with school staff that we've built long-term relationships with already and focused on partner groups that already had trust amongst each other. So we're thinking of that programming within an existing structure. We knew that starting in a familiar space, like their already established parent center, we came with coffee and pastries, pan dulce, and we came in community. We knew that it would allow people to open up. And Molly and I intentionally code switch, both in language, both in language and identity. We were moving between English and Spanish, Molly in English and Spanish myself, and between educator and fellow parents. We made the program fully bilingual, which was essential to creating access, comfort, and inclusion. It helped to create a bridge of trust from day one. So these three combined elements, pedagogical expertise, our experience as museum educators, our personal insight, our own lived experiences and community members, and our linguistic inclusivity were central in the program's success. So the second part of the workshop, with a focus on institutional trust, was inviting the parent and caregiver to the museum, where we can further build trust between the museum and community. We focus on providing the museum as a resource or a third space to know that museums are trusted institutions in their own communities. We are places communities go to get information they know is reliable and trustworthy. Our focus was for the workshop participants to meet other people, to meet their peers, their parent community, to learn something new, to engage with the institution, the museum's collections and exhibitions, and to enjoy themselves, have fun, and to be in the company of others. So the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County serves as this trusted community institution, and we believe function as the third place or third space. Again, we did this by inviting and welcoming parents and caregivers to our museum, into both our indoor gallery spaces and our outdoor gardens. When we took them there, we used educational approaches and pedagogies from our youth programs, but tailored them for the adult and for the adult learner, offering new ways to explore, to reflect, and again, to enjoy time together and to have fun. So here's a glimpse, a little glimpse of some of the parents' experiences. This is from a partner school community called GALA, Girls Academic Leadership Academy. That's just a couple of miles from our institution. Here are a couple of videos from them.
Patience, practice, rehearse.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm incredibly thankful for organizing this event, really learning a lot. I never thought, there are so many perspectives that could come up. So that really inspired that I should listen more. Yeah, absolutely.
And also learning about wellness through learning about content. I think that for me, that was the nice surprise.
Great. Today I was here with the GALA community for an amazing parent field trip, and I just got so much out of this. I'm so grateful that you hosted. We talked a lot about creating a space for conversation and being a good listener and asking open-ended questions.
So this next layer or chapter of program development is supporting the development of intergenerational trust, by which we mean establishing new and stronger relationships between all of the audiences associated with the program, both directly and indirectly. So some examples of this trust dynamic include parent to parent or peer to peer, parent to child, and even school staff to parent, strengthening those relationships. We used one of our learner-centered pedagogical approaches in the core content of these workshops, and that's visual thinking strategies. At its heart, visual thinking strategies, or VTS for short, is a dialogic structure that promotes communication in an open and accepting environment. As a museum community, we use it in our exhibitions through our interpretive staff and volunteers, as well as in our guided K-12 programming. As we developed these parent and caregiver workshops, we realized how much power VTS could hold as a way to approach conversations with children and young people outside the museum setting. So, what is VTS? I always like to call it a deceptively simple conversational structure that consists of just 3 questions, which you can see here. What is going on here or in this picture? What do you see that makes you say that? And what more can we find? We, as facilitators, really focus on deepening the engagement of the conversation by paraphrasing participant observations, linking like and pointing out dislike comments, and also framing the comments to really give them more depth. In our museum setting, we use it in front of a diorama, like you see here, a piece of artwork, or even an articulated dinosaur skeleton. These 3 questions allow for open discussion and observations without judgment or agenda. We often approach learning here at the museum by modeling, so we do the same in these workshops, letting the parents experience a VTS dialogue for themselves and then unpack the process. We've heard from parents after our workshops on how they've integrated this approach. In real life, these parents and caregivers can use this approach on a walk home from school, in the car, driving from sports practice or museum lessons, or of course, in a museum setting on their own.
So our third program pillar was all about the adult, the inspire self-trust. We were thinking of the parent and caregivers as individuals. This component emphasized the importance of centering their well-being and their mental health. We know that caregivers often deprioritize their own needs. So this wellness workshop was an invitation to pause, an invitation to reflect, and to be seen not just in their roles, but as whole people. So here we asked ourselves, how can we as a museum help parents and caregivers reconnect with themselves? Because only when they feel seen, supported, and grounded can they really show up for others, including their children in their lives. So to foster self-trust or inspire self-trust, we design a program with a few key elements, and you see those 4 key elements here. We designed intentional programmatic flow or progression. So what we shared earlier of the first meeting them where they are, and then inviting them to our institution, meeting them in their own spaces, and then inviting them into ours. We knew that this program progression would build comfort and connection. When participants came to the museum, it was a field trip for them, for parents and caregivers. That's our second key element. We framed it as a visit, a field trip for themselves. So many of the parents and caregivers are used to visiting our institution as chaperones, where they're focused on their children and their children's experiences. This time, they were the learners and they were the focus. We brought the workshop, we brought it into our outdoor nature spaces. So we into to outside in our nature gardens. And we were integrating mindfulness and observation. Really here, the goal was to support wellness, not just learning. Activities like the visual thinking strategies that Molly shared, and a reflective writing exercise called A Place in the World, which I'll get to in a minute, helped participants use their senses and their surroundings to connect with themselves, as well as just be present, as well as have fun. So as I shared, we centered around using nature. In this case, the Natural History Museum's nature gardens as the restorative tool, as the tool to restore. Here are images of our 3-acre nature gardens located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles. These gardens became a restorative classroom, inviting parents to unplug, disconnect, and immerse themselves in the natural elements here in the city. In the nature gardens, we use the visual thinking strategies, the VTS, and the Place in the World activity. So in this activity, participants explore the outdoor space. They choose a spot, so they have choice in what they will experience. And we want it to resonate with them. And we want them to spend time observing and reflecting, connecting with what feels like their own place in the world. We encourage them to fully engage their senses throughout the experience by writing sentences. By grounding in this final workshop in nature, we support emotional and cognitive well-being through practices that show or are shown to improve mood and their mental health. These moments of pause, these moments of curiosity, as well as these silent, quiet moments, offered the space many didn't know they needed. Additionally, these restorative practices help shift the way caregivers experience the museum, not just as a learning space, but also as a space for wellness and renewal. That's a moment where they're in our gardens. You see a few of them, one by our pond, one sitting down, participating in their place in the world activity. So to close, I'd like to share a reflection from a participant, the writing prompt. She shared, "I realized that we are nature, that just spending a few moments under this beautiful tree transported me to my resting place and filled me with peace. Today, I learned that one doesn't need to go deep into the forest to feel the peace a tree generates, that it also exists in the middle of the city. I thank you all for these beautiful moments." This quote captures the essence of the workshop's success, that through intentional programming, community-rooted design, and a commitment to well-being, we were able to offer something powerful. We were able to offer a moment of peace, of connection, and transformation that participants could carry with them long after the session ended, for themselves, as well as for themselves as caregivers.
So you've just heard a lot about the journey we've taken in developing, launching, and expanding this program over the last several years. I would be remiss not to share that the seeds of this program were planted by a partner teacher at a hyperlocal school to the museum while we were brainstorming together over 5 years ago now about how to reintroduce the museum to her school community. As Nicole mentioned earlier, we really felt that the parent audience was being underserved, both as learners themselves, as well as being able to model lifelong learning for their children or youth in their care. I'm so grateful that that relationship with that teacher and the amazing outcomes we've experienced as a seed of an idea that has grown so much over the years, and we look forward to continuing this process with our communities.
So thank you for joining us today. Molly's email is posted here as well as mine. We look forward to hearing from you if you'd like to chat about what we've shared today, if you have any questions for the wellness workshop or us as museum educators. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a good day.